Hey, so you went to the grocery store and you went down the frozen food aisle and you seen the Marie calendars. Slap that hand, you don't need that, no. We're making chicken pot pie the homemade way with smoked chicken and so much goodness, topped off with a crispy pie crust. Come on, Marie will forgive you for this. Hey, thank y'all for stopping by Under the Barn, and on this week's episode, what are we talking about? An old classic that has come around, been in the freezer, been everywhere. What? Marie Callender would be proud. We are talking the chicken pot pie. Now, I hear some of you out there already saying, everybody know how to buy a chicken pot pie. You go down the aisle till you get to the frozen food section. You jerk out the little box that says Marie Callender. You take them home, put them in the oven. I am going to tell people on y'all. We are going to make it, and we're going to step it up about 14 notches on the flavor ladder we are, because we're talking about spatchcocking this chicken that's going in there and putting him on that hasty bake on the indirect side and letting him get some smoke. I mean, some good flavor. So it is going to be good, and give that pot pie some flavor with a flaky, oh my gosh, crispy crust on top that come off the video that we is on with what? The caramel apple pie. So that'll be up there, so I know you'll enjoy it. But folks, I don't get a lot of opportunity to cook chicken. I don't see many running around here. Why did the chicken cross the road, Shen? To keep from getting run over in the ditch by the rooster that was driving the truck. That's why he crossed the road. Yes, some. But on ranches, they always thought, this is a beef outfit. You can't be cooking chicken on a beef outfit. So there was ways that I could get around it. Some of them old timers would be guessing, I wonder what that guy's cooking tonight. So one time we had chicken and dumplings. We did. But they didn't know it was chicken. I said, caught these quail today out here in this quail trap I did. They're a little big, but I chopped them up and we're having quail and dumplings. They thought it was the best thing ever. I didn't tell them till about 5 years later. They didn't fire me, but they said, hey, this is a beef outfit. We're going to eat beef. Now, folks, we're talking about chicken, and we got a wooden board here, and what's going to happen, Shan? A trick I learned a long time ago, and I think it works really well, because we're not actually doing a whole lot of cutting on this chicken, as we're just wanting to protect the surface that we're working with. If you don't have one of them little white plastic boards that you can turn over that is reversible, white on one side, green on the other, something like that, get your cutting board out, wrap it up shiny like it's a brand new present under that Christmas tree, and look what we got, a cutting board with a raincoat. Set your chicken down to where your chicken looks comfortable, and let's get some exercise going. Work it, work it, work it, work it. Exercise. No? Now, we're talking about spatchcocking, and we need this chicken to sort of lay flat.
What is a spatchcock chicken?
Well, you take an axe and you cut him right down the middle right here, break the breastbone, clip off the wing tips, and he's going to lay flatter when your cook time is going to be quicker, because it is not as much surface for the heat to penetrate. Now, a lot of people are going to take a pair of scissors, and I'm going to show you right here, come down that backbone all the way and just cut that out. Now, you can split it right down the backbone and do the same thing, or you can just take your good old knife and just cut right down that backbone and just get him chopped up down through there all the way to the other end. Go ahead and put your fingers in there where you can feel that backbone, and you can see him there. And just come right back over on the other side of it. Cut through them ribs. Go ahead and cut right down through here for that neck, because all this is what we call going to the beagle here after a while. Now, do not think you be throwing this away. This is a good thing to be what? Making some chicken stock out of. That broth is some of that good. All right, now I need you to take these wings.
Where'd Big go?
He's over here eyeballing this. Have you been rolling in the grass? Can you get a close-up of this? Big has got a natural thing going on here, and I don't know really what it is.
Camouflaged.
So, need you to cut the tips off them wings. You can just chop him right there. You can even cut him here. Why are we doing that? Because if we leave them on there, it's sort of holding that chicken up. He's trying to do what you would call in yoga the plank position before you do the cobra and rise up. I be knowing me some yoga, I do. So cut this one off. Then take your hand, you can do it from the front, from the back, I just need you to get this to where you can feel that breastbone crack. And it did. So now we have a flat surface chicken. This is sort of like the chicken that got run over in the road. This chicken is flat now, right, Shan?
That's right.
So get you some paper towels, because we need to first of all dry this chicken really well. Make sure it is dry everywhere. Don't be messing up that skin because we need it to stay on there. So we got our chicken dry. We got the Hasty Bake full of Fogo charcoal on one end only. Been burning about 25 minutes, so them coals is good and hot. Fogo, you say, is charcoal. Yeah, ooh, some of the best there is, big old lump stuff. And today we're going to mix with what? A little bit of apple and a little bit of mesquite. So while we got him on this side right here, let's just go ahead and give him a greasing. Why, you say, does he need the greasing? Well, he needs this so that seasoning will adhere to this chicken better. Go ahead and make sure it gets really well, because if you get in the tanning bed, you're going to put on some oil, ain't you, Shan? We finna tan this chicken up. We are.
Burn.
This is a pretty pale looking chicken, so we're going to try to keep it from burning. Just make sure everybody gets some of that. If I'm going to cook a chicken, it's going to go in a chicken pot pie. I am going to use what? Chicken pot pie mesquite seasoning. Really, it just says mesquite. But if you can't get it, you know where to find it. It's on the website. I'm sure Andy will pop it right up there. And the recipe will be there as well. Give it a generous pattern. And folks, this is sort of like a big old steak. A lot of folks ain't going to season it enough. Here we go. Right there like that. Everybody gets some of that good flavor of that mesquite seasoning. And if you be liking these kind of videos like this where we go really into detail, give me a like down there, but always, I need you to comment on something that was always a pretty big thing when we were little. After Sunday church, there was it's most time fried chicken, that we raised the chicken. And there was different people that got different parts of the chicken. How come did the little kids never get a choice? I got a chicken leg all my life till I was like 20. I don't like a chicken leg. I wanted some of that good white meat to go there, or a thigh. But did y'all ever hear of the pulley bone? You think about that, and if you did, leave us a comment down there, because it was one of our favorites. So I'll meet y'all over at the fire, and I'll show you how we're going to place this chicken on there. Oh, Hasty Bake is fired up, and it's a little chilly today, so actually it feels pretty good. Now, folks, y'all seen me use this Hasty Bake alike. Y'all seen me use this Hasty Bake a long time. And to me, it's probably one of the best grills I've ever owned in my life, because it's so portable. I can take it here, take it there. And hey, guess what? Good folks there, Rich and all them folks, they'll have you a link down there below to where you can get 10% off this model right here. But fires here ain't none here. What do you call that, Shan?
Indirect.
There ain't no fire on this end. One of the two. So take the little chicken, pick him up, put him right down here on this end. So with indirect heat and the chicken on this end, we're probably going to run pretty close to about 240 to 260 along in there temperature-wise. That's degrees Fahrenheit it is. And we're going to go probably around 45 minutes to an hour, to where when we can probe that chicken, he's at least at 165. Then we'll take him off, wrap him to where he just sits there and sort of climbs his little temperature on up, but also to where he gets eventually cool enough that we can shred that chicken. So I'm going to sit and guard the fire, because the big and them love some chicken. So I'll check y'all back in later, and we'll make us some pie dough. Well, we've been on 1 hour exactly. We have. I checked the chicken. He is at 169 degrees. He's worked up a sweat, so let's get him off there. And ain't he a pretty sight? He is. If he don't fall apart getting over here. Now I want you to just look at that little chicken. Ain't that a fine looking specimen of a bird it is? And we're just going to let that chicken just sit right there, mind its own business, and cool off to where we can shred it. But in the meantime, I got the field skillet over here, and we're going to saute us some what? Carrots and white onions. Now, as we go through this recipe, some of you are going to say, that is not a traditional pot pie, because he didn't put any green peas in there. We're going to use a variety of vegetables, or what they might call a medley. We have 8 ounces of some of them there mushrooms. I really do like them. They are some fine dining, they are. Give them a little stir, and we got a pretty good base going on here for some happiness, don't we, Mage? And you look so good after your brand new haircut I give you. Oh my gosh, you're so sharp. We're going to let that cook just a minute, then we're going to add the garlic because I don't like to put that garlic in there too early because garlic can burn. But keep an eye on your chicken. Don't let the beagle get on it or the chicken will be gone. Well, while that there was cooking, I done went so fast I done shredded the chicken. Well, y'all seen it there, I did. And I'm going to tell you this, don't hurt my feelings and say, I ain't going to that much trouble. I'm just going to go down there and buy me some canned chicken. Don't let me know it, huh?
Or rotisserie.
Yes, rotisserie is not as bad as canned. They're pretty good. I like rotisserie. So this is all good to go. The mushrooms have browned up. We got to have a thickening agent that's going to take place here. So what are we talking about? Some flour, yes. And just sprinkle it evenly across there. I want you to use about a half of it, get it stirred in, and then we'll add the other half to it. And we're on about medium heat. You want to make sure you don't burn that flour. Next, I want you to give it a sprinkling of thyme. Don't take much, it don't. I want you to add some chicken broth, 2 cups. Just pour it all around there. Things is going to happen pretty quick. Now, when we started this recipe with a stick of butter, Shan said these bad words to me. Do we have to use that much butter? Oh my gosh, that's going to be too much. Well, guess what, Shan? We finna break out some heavy cream too, sugar. We're going to use about 3/4 we are, which is about pretty close to that much. Go ahead and run her back over. Now go to stirring again. And we're just going to let that sit there and simmer till everybody is good and happy. Keep stirring. Remember, medium heat.
How long are you cooking it for?
I'll have to look. Remember when I told you we was leaving them peas out there? What we talking about? Corn. Frozen corn. It's good and cold, it is. Go ahead and put you a 1.5 cups in there. Fresh parsley. Now you're saying they had fresh parsley but no fresh thyme. I can't get over it neither, folks, so I don't know what to tell you. About a 1/2 cup shredded chicken.
That's a boatload.
That is what you call a full house. Yeah, as I was telling you folks, some of you be looking at that thinking, what's he gonna do with that? Feed it all to the pups. Peel that crispy skin off there and save it right to the last. We're gonna chop it, and right before we put that top crust on that chicken pot pie, we're just gonna sprinkle that good smoky crispy crust right over the top of it. But remember folks, there is a link right up there to the caramel apple pie video that we did, and this pie crust is in it. It is so easy and got so much butter in it, so tasty. Flour you a board or a surface, whatever you got. Find you a rolling pin, or a, what do we call it? A husband trainer. Give it a little sprinkle of flour everywhere, and let's just go to rolling because it's gonna make 2 pie crusts. And folks, we need them to be big enough to come up that 12-inch Dutch oven that we're using today. Now, if you ain't got a 12-inch Dutch oven and you don't want to cook it in that, but you got a 12-inch cast iron skillet, just like that field we was using right there, hey, it'll work. Just make sure your pie crust is big enough that it comes up the sides. Well, the pie crust is in there. Now, if you want to do this in a pie plate that you have, make sure it is like a 10 to 12 inch so you can roll that crust plumb up the side and then crimp it over. And I know you be thinking, this is way too much filling for this pie. I like to mound it up in the middle so when it's cooking, it comes out, it's sort of like this. Just mash her down in there really well against that crust. Full house it is. You can see there is a lot of stuff going on over there. Remember I told you this crispy skin on there goes right on the top. And this will feed, I'd say, maybe 6 people or 2 beagles. Now, I'm gonna set this back over here. We gotta roll that pie crust out for the top. Then we'll go to baking it in that Dutch oven. Now, you've seen us go ahead and roll the top of that pie crust out, lay it on there, and crimp it down to that bottom crust best you can. Now, in a 12-inch skillet, that's a whole lot easier to do because this thing is gonna be mounded up, gonna be oh so good. But remember, cut you some vent holes in there all the way around that pie crust, because if you don't, it's gonna blow that top off of it. It is, because there's so much flavor in there. Egg wash it all the way around. We're using a trivet and a Dutch oven today, but if you're gonna cook this in the house, 425 degrees for about 25 to 35 minutes along in there, or till golden brown on top. Then let it cool, slice the goodness, and call us all will be over. Whew, that is a good looking piece of chicken pot pie right there it is. And folks, really the trick to cooking one in a Dutch oven, you can see the top of it, you can. But you can go back on our cast iron playlist and check this out. But when you can mash the edge of that pie crust and it doesn't go down anymore, that bottom is set. What it's trying to tell you is, hey, that's near done on the bottom. And that's the way we want it because it's going to hold residual heat. That's what good cast iron does. So when you can pull it up there and you can see that that crust doesn't give anymore, jerk it off there, hey, it is good to go. You can always cook something a little more if it ain't done, but what?
She said, let's eat it
Let's
already.
eat.
Quit talking.
Sadie has got to where she has done really well in videos, so we're going to let you eat first. Have a little of that pie crust. Oh my gosh, ain't it amazing?
Is that good, Sadie?
There is the big Duke. Duke just woke up from a nap. Here is the mage under here. Yep, there's the mage. Come here, little Duker. There we go. Everybody got some. Folks, I hope you can hear it. Did you hear that, Shan? That crunch that is there, cut right on through there. Look at all that goodness. Corn, the parsley, the chicken. I can see me some of them carrots in there. Praise the Lord and pass the chicken pot pie. Yeah, we're going to do the chicken dance. Whew. Well, we hope y'all enjoyed this because me and the pups and Shan sure did. And we never take it for granted that you watch our videos. And Sade says, hey, pass the chicken pot pie. Would you need another bite? I mean, my gosh, you used to never show up about half the time. Ooh, that is a good girl, Sade. As always, I tip my hat and I thank our veterans and all the servicemen and women that have kept that old flag flying over the camp to keep us all safe and sound. We have. And for the rest of you, I really do thank y'all too, because this channel would not be possible without y'all. Y'all are what we call a family. And hey, I hope you make this chicken pot pie, share it with the neighbors and all the good friends around you, because what did Mr. Rogers say? Make more chicken pot pie and take it to the neighbors. I think that's what he said anyway. God bless you one of all. Come on in here and I'll see you down the homemade smoked chicken pot pie trail. We need to leave that in the bloopers, Sandy. That's Shan's famous chicken call.
Back in my chicken calling days.
Let me see if I don't see none coming.
No chickens.
Here comes Duke. Duke. Are you a chicken, Duke? He said, I like chicken. Hey, you be pushing that basket down that cart. Phew, that is wrong. We have launched some new apparel, some t-shirts, sweatshirts. We got you fixed up, so be sure and check them out. If you like this video and you like to see them frozen dinners sort of recreated in a better way, well, hey, be sure and watch our what? Salisbury steak. Hungry man dinner. Ooh, we got it all from the Salisbury steak to the brownie. So don't forget to watch that. You'll be glad you did.